There's a strange thing that happens the moment you point at something as a waste of money. The people wasting the most on it don't nod along. They get angry, they defend it hard with a speech they've clearly given before, about how it's actually worth it, how it saves them money in the long run, how you just don't understand. And here's the uncomfortable pattern almost nobody notices. The harder someone defends a purchase, the more likely it is that purchase is quietly keeping them broke. Because the things that drain us the most aren't the obvious ones, they're the ones we've been trained to defend as normal, smart, even responsible. Today I'm going to walk you through 15 of them. 15 things that are a genuine waste of money that a huge number of people will fight you to the death to justify. And I want to be honest with you up front. Some of these are going to sting because you probably do at least a few of them, and your brain is already loading up the defense. That defensive reflex you're about to feel, that's not a sign I'm wrong. That's the exact feeling this whole video is about. So try to watch with an open mind, because if even 3 or 4 of these click, you could redirect thousands of dollars a year away from things that give you nothing and toward a future that actually sets you free. Let's get into it. Number 1, brand new cars. Picture a shiny new car rolling off the dealership lot. And the second all 4 tires hit the public road, picture thousands of dollars evaporating into thin air behind it like exhaust. A new car can lose a huge chunk of its value in the first few years. Money gone whether you drive it or park it. And here's the defense you'll hear every time. But it's reliable, it's got a warranty, it's safer. Picture a person saying that with total confidence while standing next to a 3-year-old version of the exact same car that costs a fraction of the price and does the exact same job. The waste was never about having a car. It's about buying it new, financing it over 6 or 7 years, and eating the steepest part of that value drop yourself instead of letting the first owner take the hit while you buy it lightly used. The person defending the new car isn't defending transportation. They're defending the feeling of driving something nobody else has touched and paying tens of thousands of dollars for that feeling. Number 2, extended warranties. Picture the checkout counter, the moment you've already decided to buy the laptop or the appliance, and the cashier leans in and asks, "Would you like to protect it?" Picture a warm, official-looking certificate that promises peace of mind for just a little extra. Here's what's actually happening. These plans are one of the most profitable things the store sells. And something can only be that profitable for the seller if it's a bad deal for the buyer. Most of these warranties are never used. Most of what breaks is either covered already or breaks after the plan expires. Picture the fine print stretching for pages, full of exclusions, and at the end of it, a letter that says claim denied. The defense sounds so responsible, I'm just protecting my investment. But you're betting against the house, on the house's terms, on something you could usually just afford to repair or replace yourself. The wealthy self-insure the small stuff and pocket the difference, and over a lifetime that difference is enormous. Number 3, buying the newest phone every single year. Picture a person standing in line at midnight for the newest phone, clutching their year-old phone that works perfectly, ready to trade it in for a device that is barely different. Picture the 2 phones side by side. You genuinely cannot tell them apart, but one costs $1,000 and the other is already paid off. The upgrade cycle is one of the most brilliant traps ever built, because it resets every year and everyone can see whether you're current. The defense, I need it for work, the camera's better, my old one was getting slow. But picture the same person's old phone, which was fast and fine until the exact week the new one came out. What broke wasn't the phone, it was their patience. A phone kept for 3 or 4 years instead of 1, with that upgrade money invested instead, quietly becomes a small fortune over a lifetime. Number 4, name brand everything at the grocery store. Picture 2 bottles of the identical pain relievers sitting side by side on a shelf. Same active ingredient, same dose, made in many cases in the same factory. One has a famous brand name and a big price tag. The other is the store brand for half the cost. Picture a person confidently dropping the expensive one in the cart, saying the brand name one just works better, when the chemical inside is molecule for molecule identical. This plays out across the whole store: the medicine, the cereal, the cleaning supplies, the basic staples, where you are paying a premium for a logo and a commercial you saw as a kid, not for a better product. Picture the price difference on every single item adding up week after week, cart after cart, into thousands of dollars a year handed over for packaging. The generic and the brand often come off the same production line. The only real difference is the sticker and who's naive enough to pay for it. Number 5, lottery tickets and gambling. Picture a person handing over their cash at the counter for a fistful of lottery tickets, and picture those tickets statistically as a shredder. You feed money in and confetti comes out. The lottery has been called a tax on people who are bad at math, and the cruelest part is who buys the most of it. It's often the people who can least afford to lose the money chasing a jackpot that is astronomically unlikely to ever come. The defense: somebody's got to win, it's just a bit of fun, it's my only shot at getting out. Picture the dream it sells, the mansion, the beach, the freedom, and then picture the reality, which is a small but steady stream of money leaving a person's life every week and never coming back. That same money, put somewhere real, would build the actual escape they keep buying a fantasy of. The lottery doesn't sell you a chance, it sells you hope, and it charges you for it. Forever. Number 6, paying full price for anything, ever. Picture a person at a checkout, credit card out, paying the exact number on the sticker without a second thought. While invisible to them, there's a coupon code, a cashback offer, a sale next week, or a simple discount they could have gotten just by asking. Picture money floating away from them that they were entitled to keep. In a world of price comparison tools, browser extensions that find codes automatically, and cashback on nearly everything, paying full price is often a choice you're making without realizing it. The defense: I don't have time to hunt for deals, it's not worth the effort for a few bucks. But picture those few bucks, on every purchase, across every year of your life, stacking into a genuinely large pile. It's not about being cheap, it's about refusing to leave your own money on the table for no reason other than not bothering to reach for it. Now let me pause here, because we're a third of the way in, and I want to show you the invisible thread connecting every single one of these. Because once you see it, the rest of the list hits completely differently. Look back at the first 6. In every case, the person wasn't buying the thing. They were buying a feeling. The new car buys the feeling of success. The warranty buys the feeling of safety. The new phone buys the feeling of being current. The brand name buys the feeling of quality. The lottery ticket buys the feeling of hope. That is the real product being sold in almost every waste of money on this list. Not an object, but an emotion wrapped around an object and marked up. Picture every one of these purchases as a small vending machine that dispenses a feeling for money. And here's the reframe that changes everything. The reason people defend these so fiercely is that you're not attacking their spending. You feel like you're attacking their identity, their comfort, their hope. But the feeling always fades by morning, and the money is gone for good. The wealthy learn to stop paying premium prices for temporary feelings. Now let's keep going, because the next one's cut even deeper. Number 7, massive interest on credit card debt. Picture a person buying something for $100 on a credit card, and then, because they only pay the minimum, picture that $100 item slowly ballooning. 120, 150, and if it drags on, far more as interest stacks on top of interest month after month. Carrying a balance on a credit card is one of the most expensive things a human being can do with money, because those interest rates are brutal, often north of 20%. Picture the credit card company as a meter running in the corner of the room, ticking upward every single day you carry that balance, charging you rent on money you already spent. The defense: everyone has credit card debt. It's just normal, I'll pay it off eventually. But picture how much of every payment is being devoured by interest before it ever touches what you actually bought. This isn't a purchase at all. It's paying a premium, forever, for the crime of not having had the money at the time. The wealthy use cards as a tool and pay them in full. The broke carry a balance and feed the meter for years. Number 8, expensive daily habits nobody adds up. Picture a person's entire day as a series of small, automatic swipes. The coffee on the way in, the bottled water, the vending machine snack, the lunch bought instead of packed, the energy drink, the after-work drink. Each one feels tiny. $5, $7, nothing to think about. Now picture all of those little swipes for one single day floating in the air. And then picture them multiplying by every workday, by every week, by every month of the year. Picture the pile they form by December, and it's genuinely shocking. Often thousands upon thousands of dollars a year, vaporized in increments so small the person never once felt the hit. The defense: it's just a coffee. I work hard, I deserve little treats. And you do deserve treats. That's not the point. The point is that these are invisible precisely because they're small. And small, repeated 1,000 times, becomes enormous. The wealthy don't necessarily deny themselves. They just refuse to let their money leak out through 100 tiny holes they never bothered to count. Number 9, buying way too much house. Picture a young couple at a bank being told they're approved for a mortgage far bigger than they expected, and picture their eyes lighting up as they start looking at homes at the very top of that number. Here's the trap. The bank tells you the maximum you can survive, and people hear it as the amount they should spend. Picture them moving into the beautiful, enormous house, and then picture that house slowly turning into a cage, as the giant mortgage, the higher taxes, the bigger utility bills, the cost of furnishing and heating and cooling all that space, devours nearly every dollar they earn. They become house poor, owning an impressive home and having nothing left for anything else. No savings, no investing, no freedom. The defense: it's an investment, real estate always goes up. We needed the space. But picture all the money trapped in those extra rooms they barely use, money that could have been building real wealth. The wealthy often buy less house than they can afford, on purpose, because they know the margin between what you can afford and what you actually spend is exactly where wealth is built. Number 10, the endless subscription pile. Picture a person's bank statement scrolling down a screen, and picture a small charge on it lighting up red every time it's for a subscription they forgot they had. The streaming service they watched once, the app from a free trial they never canceled, the gym membership they haven't used since January, the premium tier of something they don't remember signing up for. Picture a dozen tiny pipes draining a bathtub, each one so small you'd never notice it alone, all of them together emptying the tub faster than you can fill it. This is one of the most modern wastes there is, engineered to be invisible. The charges are small, they renew automatically, and they never ask you to decide again. The defense, they're only a few dollars each. It's not worth the hassle to cancel. But picture the total of all of them, added up across a full year, and for most people it's hundreds, sometimes over $1,000, flowing out for things they don't even use. The wealthy audit these ruthlessly. The broke let them bleed. Number 11, designer clothes and logos as status. Picture two nearly identical t-shirts on a table. Same cotton, same cut, same quality. One is plain and costs $15. The other has a small logo stitched on the chest and costs $300. Picture a person paying that $300 price and understand what they actually bought. Not a shirt, but the logo. Permission to broadcast a brand to strangers who will forget it in seconds. Picture the money, the difference between $15 and $300, going up in smoke for a tiny embroidered symbol. The defense, it's better quality, it lasts longer, it's an investment piece. But often the expensive version and the cheap version are made in similar factories from similar materials, and the entire markup is the name. This is spending money you have to look like you have money, which as we'll see is the exact opposite of what actually wealthy people do. You're renting the appearance of wealth by the outfit, and it's one of the fastest ways to make sure you never actually build it. Number 12, financing depreciating toys. Picture a driveway filling up with beautiful expensive things bought on monthly payments. The boat, the jet ski, the ATV, the RV, the motorcycle. Now picture a calendar, and picture how many days a year each of these things actually gets used. The boat that goes out 4 times a summer, the RV that's driven twice, the jet skis gathering dust in the garage 11 months of the year. Picture the monthly payments for all of them draining out of the bank account every single month, whether they're used or not, while the toys themselves lose value the entire time. The defense, it's for the memories, it's for the family. You can't put a price on experiences. But picture how much each individual use actually costs when you divide the total price by the handful of times it's touched, often hundreds or thousands of dollars per outing. You can almost always rent the boat, the RV, the experience for a tiny fraction of what it costs to own, finance, store, and maintain it. The wealthy rent the toy and own the appreciating asset. The broke finance the toy and rent their freedom to the bank. Number 13, not investing because you're waiting for the right time. Picture a person standing at the edge of a pool for years, dipping a toe in, pulling it back, saying, "I'll get in when the water's perfect, when I have more money, when the market's safer." When I understand it better, picture the years ticking by on a clock behind them while they wait. And here's the cruel part. This waste doesn't cost you money you spend, it costs you money you never made, the invisible fortune your money would have grown into if it had been in the water this whole time. Picture two people the same age. One who started investing modest amounts at 30, and one who waited until they felt ready at 45. Picture the first one's money as a tree with 15 extra years of growth, towering over the second one's, and the gap between them is often hundreds of thousands of dollars, created by nothing but time. The defense, I'm being careful, I don't want to lose money. I'll start when things settle down. But picture the guaranteed loss of doing nothing while inflation eats your cash and compounding passes you by. Waiting for the perfect time to invest is itself one of the most expensive decisions a person can make. And almost no one counts it, because you never see the money you didn't make. Number 14, trying to look rich to impress people. Picture a person spending every spare dollar on the visible symbols. The flashy car in front of the rented apartment, the designer bag next to the maxed out credit card, the bottle service. They can't afford the vacation posted online and paid off for the next 2 years. Picture them performing wealth on a stage, and picture the audience, and here's the punchline. Picture the audience barely looking, scrolling past, forgetting it in a moment, or worse, doing the exact same performance themselves. Everyone broke, everyone pretending, all performing for each other. The defense, image matters, you have to look successful to be successful, perception is reality. But picture the cost of the show. Every dollar spent looking rich is a dollar that can never be used to actually become rich. Looking wealthy and being wealthy pull from the same pocket, in opposite directions. The person spending to impress strangers is trading their real future for a fake present. Applause from people who aren't even watching. The genuinely wealthy figured out a long time ago that the goal was never to look rich. It was to be free, and being free usually looks a lot more boring than the performance. And number 15, the deepest one, the one underneath all the others, wasting money to soothe emotions instead of solving them. Picture a person having a terrible day, stressed, sad, bored, lonely, and picture their hand reaching for their phone and buying something, anything, for the little hit of relief it brings. The retail therapy, the impulse buy, the I deserve this purchase, that has nothing to do with the item and everything to do with the feeling. Picture the package arriving days later, the tiny spark of joy as it's opened, and then picture that spark fading within hours, leaving behind the same bad feeling that was there before, plus a little less money. This is the engine humming underneath almost every waste on this list, and companies know it. They've engineered the entire buying experience to be the easiest, fastest painkiller available, one tap away, any hour of the day. The defense, it makes me happy. I work hard. I deserve to treat myself. But picture the cycle. The feeling, the purchase, the fade, the feeling again, a loop that drains your bank account without ever fixing the thing that started it. The problem was never solved. It was upholstered. The wealthiest thing you can learn is to sit with a bad feeling without paying to make it go away for an hour. So let me show you all 15 of these landing in 2 real lives, because the difference is far bigger than any single purchase. 2 people, same job, same paycheck, both earning $50,000 a year, same city. On paper, identical. Call them Ryan and Sam. Ryan defends every single item on this list and lives all 15. Picture Ryan's life: the financed new car in the driveway, the newest phone every year, the pile of subscriptions, the daily coffee and lunch out, the brand names in the cart, the designer logo on the shirt, the credit card balance he calls normal, the lottery ticket every Friday, the boat he uses 4 times a summer, and the online shopping every time he's had a rough day. And if you challenged him on any one of them, picture him launching into a passionate, well-rehearsed defense of why it's actually worth it. From the outside, Ryan looks like he's doing great. He looks honestly richer than he is. But picture behind the curtain: nothing saved, nothing invested, a mountain of debt, and a paycheck that's spent before it even arrives. Ryan isn't winning. He's performing winning and paying for the performance with his entire future. Sam earns the exact same $50,000. But Sam looked at each of these 15 things, felt the same defensive reflex everyone feels, and then pushed past it and asked a harder question. Is this actually worth what it's costing me? So picture Sam driving the reliable used car, keeping the phone for 4 years, auditing the subscriptions, packing lunch most days, buying the generic, skipping the logo, paying the card in full, investing the lottery and lot money instead, renting the boat for the rare trip, and on the bad days, going for a walk instead of reaching for the phone. Picture Sam's life from the outside. A little plainer, a little less flashy, nothing to post about. Nobody looks at Sam and thinks rich, but picture behind Sam's curtain. No bad debt, a growing emergency fund, and investments compounding harder every year. The money that Ryan set on fire, quietly building Sam a future where work becomes optional. Same income, same city, same 15 choices made in opposite directions. And a couple of decades from now, Ryan will still be performing, still be trapped, still be defending, while Sam is simply free. So let me hand you the one idea to carry out of all 15 of these, because it's more powerful than any single tip. Every waste on this list survives, because it's defended, because we've wrapped it in a story about why it's fine, why it's smart, why we deserve it, why you just don't understand. The single most valuable financial skill you can build is the ability to catch yourself mid-defense. The next time you feel that hot flash of justification rising up, that urge to explain why your version is different, I want you to freeze right there and recognize that feeling not as proof you're right, but as a flashing sign pointing directly at money that might be leaking out of your life. The defense is the tell. You don't have to cut all 15. You don't have to live like a monk. You just have to be honest on each one about whether you're buying a thing you truly value or buying a feeling that fades while the money disappears for good. Because here's the truth this whole video was really about. None of these 15 things are evil, and wanting nice things doesn't make you foolish. The waste was never in the spending itself. It was in spending on autopilot, defending the leak instead of seeing it, handing over your future for a series of feelings that never last. And the beautiful part is that every dollar you stop wasting doesn't just disappear. It gets redirected toward freedom, toward options, toward a version of your life where you're not one bad month from disaster. So stop defending the things that are draining you. Pick even 3 or 4 items off this list. Redirect that money towards something that actually grows, and let the people around you keep performing and defending and leaking. Years from now, they'll still be explaining why it was all worth it, and you'll be the one who stopped explaining, started building, and got free.